This is Deborah Yao with Black Education TV. I know I haven't been out in a while. We've been going back and forth, land and home, and so I haven't had a chance to do much. I did do a commentary on, or should I say a movie review for the movie Get Out. But there are other things that I kind of wanted to touch on as well. And so I have a moment here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. There is an issue in the so-called black mind. You have Ben Carson, who referred to the slaves as immigrants. Now, I'm not surprised at all by that remark by him, because when you have a certain mindset, when you've been lobotomized spiritually by white supremacy, you'll say things like that. He said that because it sounds good to say that. No one wants to say or talk about slavery because it highlights the injustices that have happened to us as a people. And because Ben Carson is trying to fit in that world, or that white world, kind of like those so-called black people in the movie Get Out. When you're trying to fit into that world, you don't want to say anything that offends. You don't want to say anything that could be deemed inflammatory towards the people that are the object of your affection and love and worship. Yes, I did say worship. When you are devoted, you are in a state of worship. That's what it means, devotion, praise, adoration. Ben Carson has praise and adoration for white supremacy. He wants to fit into that world. He doesn't realize that he will never fit into that world. He will never be fully accepted into that world. He thinks he's partially accepted, but no, he's just a pawn. Okay? So for him to say that the slaves were just immigrants, he has already been spiritually lobotomized. His thought processes have already been interrupted, and it will take a miracle to bring him back around. And of course, you know, Samuel L. Jackson pretty much said, "Negro, please." Of course, he had other choice words. Samuel L. Jackson, although he, in my opinion, is a part of that world too, he just has a different way of expression. You know, you have some that will fit into that white world who still have a little bit of sense left in their heads to say, you know what, I'm going to call a spade, and I'm going to say what I see, and I'm going to expound on what I know to be true. And he knows that it's ludicrous to suggest that the slaves are just or were just immigrants, because that softens it. It changes history to make it seem like it was a business transaction or some type of migration from one land to another. And that X's out the fact that we, our people, our ancestors, were brought here against their will. They were kidnapped, raped, and murdered in the process. So to say that it was nothing more than immigration, you have essentially blended into white supremacy. So Ben Carson, one thing I can say, I give you a round of applause. I take my hat off to you for being, I can't call you Coon of the Year, but you fit right into that mold. I take my hat off to you for that. If there was an award for that, you have won it this time. Okay? And there are many who are on the stage with you getting that same award, because you all fit into white supremacy. You support it, you uphold it, and you are actually enemies to your own people and don't even realize it. This is why we cannot get a foothold as a whole. It's one of those things that you might as well just hang your head up and say forget it. Trying to get unification amongst so-called black people sounds or seems to be very impossible, whether you're low on the totem pole or you're high. Okay, whether you're rich or you're poor, it doesn't matter. It just seems like unification is impossible because we have mindsets that we will not shed. We have these things that bubble up on the inside of us that keeps us divided. We create ways in which we are going to come against our own people. For Ben Carson, it was simply to diminish our plight or make it seem as though what happened to us wasn't as bad. It was just immigration. We were just immigrants. We came here, we sailed here as if we all leased a boat and decided to sail here on our own. As if all the Africans got together, or the Israelites, should I say, even though we came from the continent of Africa, we all got together and we decided that we are going to sail here to America. No, that is not what happened. Other people, other nations got together and decided to bring us here against our will. Held us in chains, beat us, raped us, murdered us, tortured us, misused and abused us. And this man wants to call it immigration. I don't know what kind of crack pipe he smokes, but if our people don't snap out of this thing, this mind control that they're under, to where you feel the need to lessen the impact or lessen the blow of reality of what has happened to us, if you don't snap out of this, we are destined to repeat the same crap over and over again, in which it is happening. When you don't understand history, you are destined to repeat it. That is a statement that many make, which is quoted from, I forget the source, but it's true. Slavery continues yet and still today. It's called the prison system. You see, there are other forms of slavery too. Our people are mentally enslaved by the tell-I vision, the tell-lie vision. We are mentally enslaved by this food system. We feel as though we can't eat without massa. Most of us wouldn't even want a shovel to try to turn over some soil to grow our own food. We want massa to keep on feeding us because we have this mentality that we are immigrants, just like Ben Carson said, and that the immigrants need to be taken care of by the system in which they have tried to merge into. No, we haven't tried to merge into anything in terms of, or should I say, our ancestors weren't trying to merge into anything. They were forced into this system, brought here against their will. They were not immigrants who said, I want to set sail to America. That's not how it happened, Ben Carson. If you're going to say such foolish statements, at least say it in some type of stand-up comic skit, because maybe we can accept it then. Maybe we can accept that foolishness if you are a stand-up comic, because that would be the excuse. Oh, he's just cracking jokes right now. But the reality is, we were brought here against our will. We were not immigrants. And we don't need high-profile black folks such as yourself who ran for president, who many of us looked up to at first because of your past and how you were brought up by your mom and how smart you were. Come to find out you're not so smart after all. Not so smart after all. You are no one to be revered in my eyes for the things that you have done recently and the things that you have said recently. Why can't it be that our so-called smart or intelligent, should I say intelligent black people, why can't it be that our intelligence is used for our benefit? That intelligence is always used to further uphold white supremacy. And that's not by mistake. That is not by mistake. When they see that intelligence, they capitalize on it. They try to fit you into their world, fit you into their mold, so that you can further their agenda. And you think you got a prize. You think you've won something. You think you've achieved something when you have achieved absolutely nothing. Okay? I have a sticker bug, or should I say a sticky vine thing that has grabbed hold of my leg. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. There's a lot of these little things on the ground here. When you're walking, you got to kind of watch out for them. It's like vines with stickers on them. And they'll grab your clothes. If you have on long clothes, they'll grab, and you have to get them off. Okay, family, that's enough with this video. Ben Carson, get real, okay? Shalom, family.